Today, we're going to dive into a really tough reality that's facing a whole new generation of workers. It seems like the promise of a college degree is being tested like never before. For so many recent graduates, that amazing feeling on graduation day is fading fast as they face a job market that's just incredibly challenging. So, let me introduce you to Michael. Back in May of 2025, he was, in his own words, on top of the world. He'd just graduated from Villanova, diploma in hand, and was so ready to get out there, use his skills, and, finally start his adult life. It's a feeling of just pure potential, and you can hear it right there in that quote. But you flash forward just a couple of months, and not optimism, it kind of hits a brick wall. Michael's job search has been tough, demoralizing even. And the thing is, this isn't just his story. It's a feeling that's echoing across the entire class of 2025. Michael's struggle is really tough to hear about, but here's the thing. It's not an isolated case, not by a long shot. The data is showing that what he's going through is actually part of a much bigger and, frankly, pretty worrying national trend. 10.4%. Let that sink in for a second. As of this September, that is the unemployment rate for young people in the U.S. between 16 and 24. And yeah, you might hear that the overall job market looks pretty strong, but this specific group, they are clearly being left behind. And look, this isn't just some random blip on the radar. This trend has been climbing steadily ever since it hit a post-pandemic low back in April 2023. This really suggests that something more fundamental, something systemic is going on here, especially for the most educated folks in this group, recent college graduates. And all of this is leading some economists to a pretty stunning conclusion. For what might be the first time in modern history, that core promise that a bachelor's degree is your ticket to a good professional job is in serious, serious doubt. So the big question is, why? All right, to figure that out, we kind of need to put on our detective hats and investigate the primary suspects behind this big shift. Is it the rise of AI? Is it a simple oversupply of graduates? Or is this all just a massive hangover from the pandemic? This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? So let's break down the evidence, and we're going to start with the biggest suspect in the room. First up, the factor that's on pretty much everyone's mind, artificial intelligence. I mean, corporate giants are plugging automation into their systems at a crazy pace, and it's hitting entry-level roles directly. We're talking about the exact kind of jobs in research, data entry, and even basic content creation that have always been that first step on the career ladder. And we've actually got the data to prove it. A Stanford study found that since 2022, employment for young workers aged 22 to 25 in jobs that are highly exposed to AI has dropped by a staggering 13%. And get this, at the same time, older workers in those exact same roles have seen their employment hold steady or even grow. And graduates like Michael are seeing this play out in real time. He totally gets the business logic. AI can produce results faster and cheaper. He even says he can't really blame employers, but that doesn't make it any less frustrating for him and all of his peers. But, AI isn't the only suspect here. Experts are actually pretty divided on the other factors at play. On one side, you have people who think this is just a short-term hangover from the crazy overhiring sprees during the pandemic at places like Amazon. But on the other side, some argue it's a permanent, structural change, that companies learned to operate leaner during labor shortages, and now they just need fewer people, with or without AI. And then there's the whole supply side of the equation. We have more young people earning bachelor's degrees than ever before, and they're graduating faster than the baby boomers are retiring. So this has led some economists to believe we might just have a glut of graduates, too many people competing for a number of jobs that isn't really growing. So regardless of the exact cause, and it's probably a mix of everything, this trend has absolutely massive consequences down the line. And this isn't just a problem for Gen Z. It's a problem that could really impact the entire economy. Let's trace out that ripple effect. See, when a whole generation struggles to get their careers off the ground, it sets off a kind of domino effect. It means less consumer spending to fuel the economy. It means less tax revenue to fund all our public services. And over time, it dramatically widens the gap between the rich and the poor. And that can lead to some really widespread political dissatisfaction. And if you want to understand just how serious that inequality piece is, check this out. A recent Oxfam report found that between 1989 and 2022, the top 1% gained 101 times more wealth than the median household. 101 times. A tough job market for young people just pours gasoline on that fire.
As experts are warning, an economic problem of this scale almost never stays just economic. I mean, when a large group of educated, young people feel like the system just isn't working for them, that can reshape the entire political conversation for years and years to come.
Okay, so the landscape we've just painted is really challenging. I get it. But it is not hopeless. This situation just demands a new playbook, a new way of thinking about how to launch a career. So what can you graduates actually do to adapt and even thrive in this environment? Well, experts are really pointing to a clear two-part strategy. First, graduates have to develop skills that are in high demand, especially around AI. And second, they need to double down on a strategy that's, well, timeless, professional networking. So, while AI might be getting rid of some jobs, it's creating a ton of demand for others. The career site Handshake says there's been a five-fold increase since 2023 in job postings that list AI skills as a requirement. Companies now just expect new hires to know how to use these tools to be more productive right out of the gate. But tech skills aren't enough, not even close. In a market that's just flooded with resumes, those personal connections are more valuable than they've ever been. Having someone who can vouch for you, who remembers you from an internship, that can be the one thing that separates you from hundreds of other applicants. And that brings us right back to Michael. Despite his really demoralizing job search, he's holding on to this powerful sense of optimism. He believes that navigating this tough market is ultimately going to build resilience, creating a stronger generation of workers who won't ever take their opportunities for granted. And all of this leaves us with one final, critical question. If AI can now perform many of the tasks that were once reserved for entry-level professionals, what is the new purpose of a college degree? Is it about critical thinking? Adaptability? Honestly, that's the billion-dollar question that students, universities, and employers all have to figure out together.